Today on the show, is this plane floating in the sky?
Should you reject a guy who is super nice, but also a little handsy?
And we discuss the Taylor Swift movie controversy that all the NPCs are talking about.
All this and much more on episode 24 of the Blimey podcast.
I didn't even know about the Taylor Swift movie. There's a Taylor Swift movie?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Blimey podcast. Every Friday, trying a little bit to make the world a little less messy. My name is Josh.
And I'm Jordan. Thanks to our supporters at supportblimeycow.com for making this show possible. If you've ever thought about becoming a supporter, ever, now is a great time to do it because we have some awesome things in the works for next year, but more on that soon.
This week's question is, would you rather never see your family and work 70 hours a week for 3 years to make $1 million, or make less, but you are able to spend time with your family? Tough one.
It is a tough one, Josh, especially if you have children. Check out the Clips channel. Everything you love about the podcast without the time commitment. Over 600 subscribers, Josh.
That's right.
That's at Blimey Cow Clips, so check that out.
Yeah, I don't know why the Clips channel kind of shot up last week.
Well, you said we had the viral clip.
Well, yeah, and but it was after that, so I don't know what's going on. We finally get that momentum going.
Momentum.
All right. Okay, let's get to this week's stories. My little sister, his big sister, the middle in our family. There are three of us.
There are. It's easy.
She had a baby. This happened a few weeks ago, but she hadn't posted about it online, so we didn't say it. We were just sitting here doing the podcast.
We made that face
but
all the time.
Sweet baby Claire is here. Her second child, born within like a month of Shiloh, so they're going to be they're going to be best friends forever, probably. She's adorable. We love her so much already. The first girl in our family.
Yes.
So many boys.
I know, it's all that there are.
Finally a girl. So we're very excited. I actually got an email this week, Jordan, from somebody asking when season 4 of Brother Time was starting. It's been so long since an episode that he thought that season 3 was over. So I had to write him back and say, no, season 3 is not over. It's just everybody's having babies. And
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make sense that people would suddenly be pregnant in the next episode. I remember Kelly was pregnant in
like a pillow.
Yeah, Kelly had to wear some like oversized clothes for one episode because she was pregnant with. This is what's funny. This is how long we've been doing season 3. She was pregnant with Elliot, our last pregnancy before Shiloh.
So we should just name it a new season.
Yeah,
it's season 3.5.
It was a good cliffhanger for the end of a season. I've thought about that. Well,
just say it's season 4.
It's fun. Like literally, when season 3 started, Isaac was the only grandchild. Then Elliot was born. Then Noah was born. Then Shiloh was born, and now Claire has been born.
Yeah, it's season 4. Season 7.
By the time season 3 is over, it'll have been 20 years since we started Brother Time. That's not a joke. We started in 2006.
Wow.
It could very well happen. Okay. So, but hopefully now everybody is not pregnant anymore. We can have an episode here soon. So I did the other day start like breaking it. I used that Scrivener Word doc program that I've been using, and I started kind of working through it. So.
Good, very good.
I'll have to talk to you about it, and we can figure out some ideas.
Yes.
Okay, that was Amy's top story. What's your top story?
Well, me and Sarah, Josh, we butchered 13 chickens in one day. 13 roosters, all in one day. And I didn't realize, like, that's a lot for us, because normally we do, like, 6, and then it takes, like, 5 hours, because we were hand plucking all of these, which is insane. Do not do that. So we rented this plucker, this industrial-sized plucker that you can get, and they cost like $800. But you can rent this thing. We rented this on Facebook for $50.
Wow.
It saved us like 3 hours of time, and we did twice as much as we normally did. And it was our first time using this thing. So that was awesome. But when we went to go and pick it up, I always just assumed this is going to be like an older man who has this plucker.
You assume it's an older man with the plucker.
And he lived 15 minutes away. Well, the guy who comes walking out is like a guy my age. And it was like, I was like, what's this?
I thought I was the only one like me.
That's exactly what I thought. And so he comes walking up, and we just talk for like an hour about he's got everything that I have plus. And so I was asking questions. We were talking about what we do and stuff. So now all of a sudden it's like we're friends, and now we're going to go back over there on Friday and take the plucker back. We got it done so quickly. Plucking the chickens, he was like, hey, I'm going to be off work on Friday. Why don't you come by then instead of just bringing the plucker back now? And then we can hang out and you guys can meet my wife. So I was like, sounds great, man. So that's what's going to happen. So there you go.
What is the plucker? How does it work?
How does it work?
Like, does it just takes all the feathers off?
I want you to guess how this thing takes the feathers off.
I would assume you run the chicken through a machine that kind of almost shreds it to some degree.
No.
Either that or it just goes.
No. Yeah, think of it like a washing machine.
Okay.
But it just like spins, and there's basically tons of pieces of rubber that are kind of sticking out of this drum, and you drop it in, and it just like spins it around and just like hits it in all different directions.
Okay,
and then
just smacks all the feathers off.
Yeah.
Is it like a washing machine where there's like a lint collector?
No.
You roll there's all the feathers.
No, you spray it with water as it's bouncing around, and the feathers go at the bottom.
So you're still kind of babysitting it.
Yeah, you're spraying water. Okay, on it, and it literally takes 30 seconds.
Okay,
to pluck up when plucking one by hand could be 10 minutes. It takes a long time to pluck a chicken.
How did butchering go this time? I can tell you silently struggle with this.
It was fine. I didn't realize, but I have a rabbit named Wally who hangs out in with these in the same enclosure at the chickens, and I had noticed the chickens were kind of picking on him a little bit, and he has been kind of distant recently.
This is for Wally.
Yeah. So once they were all gone, like now he's out running around digging and stuff. So I feel completely fine. So it's just kind of sad. I didn't realize Wally was getting picked on that much.
Well,
so
now those chickens have been pluckered.
Yeah, now they're gone. So everything is calm now. So that's the top story. Let's get to the question of the week. Last week's question: if you could live in one state, where would it be? And Josh, you actually made a poll this week.
I did.
What did they say?
I did something a little different than what we said we were going to do. I made the poll California-ish.
I saw that.
Colorado-ish, Texas-ish, Florida-ish, or New York-ish.
What did they say?
Colorado-ish.
Yeah, I voted that.
Yeah. I picked...
I should have done Florida-ish. I was really torn.
Florida-ish. I think I've really thought about that this week, and I think I would live in... I just would live here. I would live in Tennessee. I might move...
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But when you said Florida-ish, I was like, well, that's not Tennessee.
Yeah, but I just mean like the region. Like if I was going to move, I wouldn't move any... I don't think I would move any further north. I don't want it to be any colder than it is here.
Okay.
I could maybe deal with it being a little hotter. So
yeah, I would have said
Florida-ish.
Florida then. I would have said Florida then.
It would have to be Florida because if I moved in this region, because Florida doesn't have income tax, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it.
No.
Whenever I'm doing TurboTax and it always says you want to file a state thing, I say nope.
It's crazy. I just can't imagine. It's not worth it. I don't care if it's your hometown.
Yeah.
I don't care. Get out.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
As in, if Tennessee all of a sudden had a state income tax.
Oh, that would change.
Yeah, I mean, I would legitimately consider moving.
Yeah, I would too.
The next year.
I would too. On principle.
Yeah, on principle.
But I think if I was going to move, as long as there was no income tax. If I was going to move, I would move out east, but like towards Sevierville, Gatlinburg. Sevierville. Sorry, yeah.
Sevierville is how they pronounce it.
Sevierville. Okay, Sevierville. Every time I'm about to say it, I panic a little bit because I'm like, Sevierville.
That's the county that Dollywood is. That's a county. Yeah,
Sevierville, it's a city and a county. I think
it's Sevier County and Sevierville is the city. I could be wrong.
I think that's right. Yeah, that's where Dollywood is and Gatlinburg and all that stuff. But it's just beautiful out there. It's so nice to live like 3 hours away from just beautiful mountains.
I always tell everybody, if everybody starts moving out that way, I'm going out west.
You're going out west.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because nobody goes out that way, and it looks great. It's awesome.
I mean, I would be happy living out that way too. When the few times we've driven out that way, it's just beautiful.
There's just not really a reason to go out there because everyone goes
Right.
to Dollywood or
Right. It's just
on
further
this side,
away.
you're going to Lebanon.
Yeah.
I don't go those places because Dixon and all these other places are closer to me.
Yeah.
So I've
Right.
just in the past 7 years have been discovering, oh, there's not a lake in the way. That's the thing about going out east. The lake is blocking you. There's only one way in and one way out.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Whereas north and west, it's like you can do anything.
Go anywhere. Yeah.
You can go anywhere.
You can go anywhere.
So, anyways, everyone's moving out east, and I'm never going to see them again. That's what I've determined.
Before we go further, Jordan, I did want to note that there were some funny comments underneath the poll.
Oh.
I'll show you here real quick. Timothy B5576 said, if you could live as Jordan or Josh, which one would you choose?
Oh,
Got some funny
interesting.
responses. So 5 likes for Jordan, 3 likes for me, and then Sarah with the runaway victory 9. Jordan's beloved wife.
All right, that's pretty funny.
And then Maddie said, Jordan, I'd live as Jordan. I'd like some chickens and a neighbor that could teach me carpentry and how to build a house.
Well, that is a plus.
Okay.
That's not really me. That's other people, but that's fine.
This is so hard, says KK Hawk. I would choose Jordan for the healthy and physical ability.
Technology.
I would choose Josh for the family life and technology he uses.
The technology he uses.
The physical ability. I wouldn't choose Josh. There's not a lot of physical ability there, but for Jordan,
The technology uses.
yeah. Then there was. I feel like Jordan's life is too chaotic for me to live.
They've been watching my channel. Clearly.
What's going on over there?
It's like a dog house.
There's
What's
too
going
many
on?
things he's
It
working
doesn't
on.
make sense.
Where's the podcast? All right. Where's it then? And then finally, it's a hard pick, but I'd say Josh's laugh because it is so smile-inducing.
So they're picking your laugh.
They're
To
picking
live
my laugh. My
as-
life, my laugh.
My life, my laugh.
There's our first
Very good.
podcast t-shirt. My life, my
My
laugh. Okay? There we go.
This week's question is, would you rather never see family and work 70 hours a week for 3 years to make $1 million? Or that's like $1 million cumulatively in 3 years. Or make less but be able to spend time with family. So you're not working 70 hours a
So
week.
that's 10 hours a day, essentially, with no weekend.
Yeah, there's no weekend.
You start working at 7 in the morning and you finish at 5.
Yeah,
Is
and
that
there's
the
no
life you
and there's no
choose?
weekend. Like, what the point? Because that seems doable. But if you're doing that with no weekends ever
Right.
for 3 years straight,
Okay, and when you say would never see your family, do you mean like I don't see them in the morning or when I get home?
you would tuck them into bed at night because when you see, what I should have said is like this is almost nonstop. I just came up with 70 hours.
Yeah,
in my mind.
I see.
But you're saying hi, leaving
70 hours,
tucking them into bed.
70 hours it feels like the most that would actually be doable. Like
maybe
7
sustainable.
a.m. to 5 p.m. for 3 years.
weekends.
And
That would
and
be
no
weekends,
weekends,
right?
That
would be
includes weekends.
weekends.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously.
I mean that includes it includes you're working on the weekends. That is the most that feels feasible. Like if it was like 12 hours a day, I'd feel like it's
that would be almost insane.
The trade-off is you do still get to see your family and you're doing something for your family that they're going to benefit for the rest of your
Right.
lives. So is it worth it? So that'll be a good conversation. Next week, comment below. Let us know.
What are we doing now? Oh, Christian meme review. I'm so lost. I'll be teaching Sunday school today. The pastor's kid.
It's just supposed to be you're teaching a Sunday school, and the pastor's kid, who's always unruly, is
Who is saying who is saying I will be teaching Sunday school today? Who's saying that? The pastor?
I don't know, whatever parent is teaching the class, and then the pastor's kid. Punches.
Okay, I see. I thought this was like the pastor was saying, "Hey kids, I'm going to be teaching Sunday school today," and then the pastor's kids hits their dad. I was like, that doesn't make. What's the joke?
No,
this is just some random parent saying that,
Yes.
and then the pastor's kids walks
Yes.
up and just smashes them.
Yes.
All right.
All right, we got it. We understand the meme.
Yeah, that should
Good.
have said random parent. Hey kids, or something. You know, make it a little. Help me
Come
out.
on, help him out. Memes for Jesus.
All
All
right.
right, here's Jordan's. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, with
That
the
one
socks.
really is
With the
accurate.
sock. Oh no, those aren't socks. Those are ripped jeans.
Yeah.
Or are those socks?
No, those are ripped jeans.
Oh, okay. It almost looks like shorts with like high socks. That is very funny. And yes,
It's extremely true.
Wow.
And crazy. What's funny is I always know where to go to get these memes. Either my sister Amy, the one with the child, sends them to me, or like this morning I was like, all right, I need to find a Christian meme. So I opened up Instagram. I was like, all right, somebody's got to come and clutch for me. And our friend Jessica, who we did homeschooling with, her icon was up, like she had a story. I was like, let's just hope to God she posted something. I clicked it and it was this.
Nice.
It happened this morning.
The
Saved
Lord
it.
was
so
with
thank you,
you.
Jessica, again. Thank you.
This is like the Christian straight edge scene.
Yeah, straight edge. Straight edge needs to come back.
I know.
All those kids lost that straight edge.
I was at the mall somewhat recently, and there was a shirt at just some store. Yeah, they don't have Christian bookstores anymore, so it wasn't that. But it just said "Virginity Rocks."
Did you pick it up?
I mean, not applicable to me.
It doesn't matter. It's the principle of the thing. We need to bring...
a married man walking around with a Virginity Rock
You're
shirt.
holding your wife's hand. Your children.
With children, it's like...
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Well, that's fine. No, we need to bring straight edge back.
I agree. I'm sure
Why
there
is
is still a straight edge scene. We're just not in that world anymore. Maybe
there's
night,
not.
That night that we parked at Rocket Town, our special parking spot.
Oh, those were the straight edge kids?
Maybe if we went in, we would find some straight edge kids.
Maybe.
Anyways, okay,
I doubt it.
Those were good. We got a pretty interesting message from a guy who's definitely not straight edge. Here we go.
All right. Hey, Taylors, this one is a doozy. A little spicy for y'all's physical boundary views, Smiley. So, there's this guy from church, good guy, not some creep from the streets, that I've been talking to. We aren't dating yet, okay? Well, one night while we were watching a movie with friends, he held my hand, but then put his hand on my thigh without asking. I know, he really just skipped all the bases. Now, I really do like him, but the fact that he did that and kept his hand there for the majority of the time just kind of made me wonder if I should be a little cautious with him. I told him later that wasn't okay, that I should have slapped him, but I'm so passive I couldn't do it in the moment, and he apologized profusely. But still, it doesn't set right with me. What do y'all think? Should I give him a free pass here since he was very sorry about it and knew he shouldn't do it at all? Or is it a step too far, a red flag, and a deal breaker? Thanks, K. Thanks, K.
Okay.
Look, I knew guys who would do this stuff. Okay, of course they're gonna apologize. They're gonna apologize, but see, the thing is, they've never been confronted. Mm-hmm. You confronted the person, which is amazing. It's hilarious, really. It's great. Really gives straight edge. Gives me hope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean. No, get away from him.
Yeah.
Get away from him. I mean, I've seen these people's lives. You're at that age where you haven't seen their lives pan out. I've seen the lives pan out at this point. I know where they are right now currently. I know where they live. I know who they're with and what life is like, and it's not looking hot. It's not looking so good, Josh.
Let me present an alternate take that could potentially be true. I feel like guys now get such mixed messages about what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Don't be so passive. Just go for it. So if you have just a normal guy, and he's like, all right, I think this is what I'm supposed to
do now.
So then if she's like, I didn't like that, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. You know what I mean? I hate to because that was my initial impression too, was to say, yeah, just if his first inclination is to just be like, all right, I like this girl, it seems like she likes me, let's get a little touchy here, right in the thigh area. to just say maybe find someone else. But this could very well be a guy who just watching YouTube videos like what am I supposed to do? I want her to know I'm assertive and that I'm a strong guy. So maybe this is the move, but I don't. Oh, she didn't like that. Sorry. Oh man, no, I ruined everything.
Well, so he held my hand. I feel like that's like a normal thing. But so, I don't know. I feel like if he's already trying to progress, I feel like holding somebody's hand is more harder to do than building up the courage to touch somebody's thigh. That feels like
That's true. That's true.
So I think the order just feels. Touching the thigh? What does that really mean? I mean, are you saying you're kind of touching? He kind of touched.
Like, what does that mean? Yeah, like is the hand on the leg or your hip, or is the hand cupping around the thigh?
And that's what we'll never know. But I would think that it's he kind of touched my knee area first, and then we held hands because he was like, "Hey, do you want to hold hands?" Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But it was like the reverse, so that's what makes me think that it's weird. That's why I'm picking up on this. It's odd.
But he holds hands, and then when that goes well, he's like, "Well, let me just scoot on in here."
Yeah, they're holding hands. Then he drops her hand and then touches her leg. That seems weird.
Let's move. Let's take this to another level. Yeah, I agree.
That feels weird.
Unless again, he's just like, okay, this is what I heard happens. She's responding to this. Now I will show her that I am assertive in this way.
I don't know.
Now, but and he didn't take it any farther than that. But maybe he sensed. But
yeah, maybe it was like,
if he sensed that she wasn't into it, then he should have let go.
But maybe he was too embarrassed. It was like abort mission, but I can't.
He's like, I have to act like this is not a big deal, but
yeah,
it is. But what do I do?
That's what happened.
I don't miss any of this. I don't miss these days.
I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, but again, this is all going to come down to your discretion, Kay. This is your discretion, because like if the guy feels creepy, then yeah, but if he doesn't and it was kind of like this weird thing that happened, okay, we can move on from this, forgive, maybe, but like this is where the message, Josh. This is when it just kind of starts to go downhill, because at this point you're just from one little thing you're trying to assert the guy's entire nature, and you can't do it. You can't do it. So
if he's really apologetic and never does anything like that again,
yeah, then that's one thing.
Did something dumb. We all do.
Then that's
in
one
life.
thing.
But yeah.
I feel like we sufficiently answered that to the best of our abilities. We are going to put up this page though on eBay because Josh's printer is messed up.
Yeah, what's going on here?
We're going to sell this as modern art, Blimey Cow modern art. It is blue and looks kind of cool. So we're going to be putting that up online.
That'll be on eBay.
Yeah. So the next thing we're doing today, Josh, if you cannot unsee it.
All right, Jordan, I came across this week, and I just have to show you. Tell me what you think about this.
What I said about the intro, the floating.
Yes.
That's such a weird perception thing.
I know.
That's amazing. Is that a helicopter going around?
No, it's another airplane. It's another airplane, which is also kind of freaky that they're so close together.
This happened to me you can see it is moving, but from the perception of if you put a straight line down to the bridge, and then when you put it, I'm sitting here trying to claim that this thing isn't floating. Obviously, it's not. You can look, it's moved a lot. This
is what's always so trippy about being in an airplane, is that at a certain height, nothing looks real anymore.
You know how the planes have the chemtrails? So let's get that little box at the bottom of this video. But you know how there's those clouds of whatever it is.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Well, one time I was in an airplane and we were up in the clouds and we're flying past another airplane, like not close, but like close enough that you could see there was another airplane. But I was looking out the window and that plane has a chemtrail coming out of it. But we were going so fast past it at a different angle than that plane was going that the chemtrail went like this. It was like, went clockwise like this. Like it just completely, it was the weirdest thing because we were going at a different direction than it. So the chemtrail looked like it turned in midair, but it was because the plane was going at a strange angle and we were going at the opposite angle, so it made it look like it was rotating. That's what this reminds me of.
Okay.
I always remember that because I remember thinking that was the weirdest thing. Was the plane flipping in midair?
Yeah.
No, it was just the perception was weird. So that's what this reminded me of when I saw this.
But yeah, I mean,
That's
I
amazing.
agree. I agree. I did not put this in conspiiracy theories because
It should have been.
It's obviously not.
Well, if I had put this up, it would have been a conspiracy theory because I would have believed it. I'm kidding. Well, yeah, you can't unsee that. I'm. That's amazing.
All right, Jordan, are you ready to talk about Unity?
Yes, I am.
All right, let's talk about Unity.
So I didn't realize that the Unity. Well, does anybody even know what Unity is? Sure they do.
Yeah, you should probably
Okay.
walk us through it.
So Unity is a game engine. You can download it right now and make a video game and put it on Steam or the Switch or PlayStation, whatever. And you would use Unity to build this thing. There are other engines like Unreal. There was another engine called Torque back in the day. I don't even know if that really exists anymore. That was one that I was learning a little bit as a kid. But Unity is kind of the big boy.
Yeah,
the
big
one
boy.
that everybody, like, there's so many tutorials online. It's incredible. Like, the support on that is amazing. So it's like one of the most popular that is out there. And it's really good for 2D games. Unreal is really good for 3D games. So Unity comes out. What happened was Unity decided, and this is just disturbing, it's like a sign of the times. You know how everything is a subscription service. Well, they decided that when you make a video game with their service,
With their engine.
they were saying that when you put out a game on Steam, that every time that game is downloaded, they would get money for it. And this just comes out of nowhere.
After you've made like $200,000.
Yeah, after you had made a certain amount of money. But it was disturbing to me because that would be like, to put this into perspective, that would be like us buying Premiere Pro, or Final Cut, whatever you use to edit videos, and then they say, okay, well, look, that's great that you subscribe to our service, you're a subscriber, you own it, but every time you upload this podcast onto YouTube, well, after it gets to 1,000 views, we're gonna take 20% of the income from YouTube that you got from that because you used our service.
Yep.
Which is just crazy disturbing. Like, it's that thought of we're in such a subscriber-based world now that they're really pushing that boundary. And the good news, this is the good news or bad news section. So the good news is that there was like a massive amount of pushback on this. So much so that the CEO actually got fired. So he's gone.
Oh, he retired, Jordan.
Oh, did he? Well, good for him. Yeah,
He gets a sweet severance gig and stock options.
Good. Very good for him.
Glad he's okay.
Glad he's fine. You know, I'm sure he was getting those death threats, Josh. You know, they needed to retire. So he's gone, and but the backlash from this was like crazy, and I think a lot of people from all different industries who don't even make games kind of was like, wait, this is going too far. Like, this is what everybody's going to want to do.
Yeah.
And if we don't stop this now and say, hey, like, this isn't okay, like, this is going to get really bad.
Yeah.
And so I was pleased with that. And I've dabbled in animation and stuff before. I've used something called Anime Studio, which is now Moho. If you're interested in animation, it's a great program for people who don't necessarily want to do the hand draw stuff, you know. It's honestly the kind of animation that I dislike when I see it on like PBS Kids. That's how Arthur is kind of animated. They don't use that, but they use, you know, some techniques from that, kind of that puppet kind of animation, not hand-drawn stuff. I appreciate Moho because they don't do a subscription service. It's still like you just buy it, and then it works for years. And then if you want to buy the new, like 1 in 3 years, you can buy that one. And
sometimes they'll give you a discount.
And they give you a really good discount. I actually got a good discount because I just got it again. It was like, you know, it was $100 to get the upgrade, and I hadn't used it in 3 years. So I was like, well, imagine if I was paying $15 every month for this. So I appreciate that they do that, and that was kind of like a juxtaposition of what I'm seeing.
I know.
With everything else. So it's scary. It's like, wow, what if everything, like you were saying with house rentals, what if it really is going to that where you don't own anything and it's just everything's subscription based and you have to just play by their rules and know if they want to take more money, it's well, how else am I going to edit a video?
I was encouraged too, by the amount of pushback that it got, that they ended up rolling it back.
Yeah, now it's not like that. I forgot to say that. They rolled it back. It's not like that anymore.
And the CEO's out and stuff. But he was a slimy guy.
It seemed
I saw an article that was talking about how sometime last year he had said something about how if you are a game developer and you're not putting microtransactions in your game, that you're an idiot.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
It's so like that's what it's like. The video game industry has gotten so big that you're right. It has attracted these gross people to run these companies, and Unity like has so many employees. I mean, just so many employees. And it's like, are all these people necessary? You know what I mean? But all those people being in the company means that, well, we got to find ways to make more money. We always got to be making more money. When, most of these companies don't need half the people that work for them anyway, probably. I mean, sorry, hate to say it, but it's true. It was very encouraging.
I thought it was just going to be destroyed. I thought everybody was just going to go to Unreal Engine, and that was going to be the answer. And then that was going to be the solution was, okay, Unity now exists, but people don't really use it as much.
Yeah.
But it was even better than that. Unity completely backed down, other than like, the rule is still there. So that's the disturbing thing. The rule is still there. They just upped the price. Now it's like if you make $2 million, it's going to happen.
Well, so, there were some game development companies that basically said either, well, we're not developing any new games with Unity, or the games that we're working on we're not deep enough into development. We're switching to another, because it's like a lot of people have said, well, look, you changed it back, but now I don't trust you anymore.
Yeah. It's that
I feel like we're to the point with this kind of stuff where it's like, it's not enough to just say you're sorry. It's that, sorry, now you have to be the example. Like, you are going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
So that nobody ever does this again.
And I thought the same thing. It was like, well, I don't know enough. I mean, like, I know the ins and outs of Unity a little bit. Mm-hmm. I get the workflow, and even though I can't do it quickly at all, like, I understand the methodology of it. But yeah, I'm like, I mean, I haven't gone that far into it. Like, maybe I really should download Unreal if I want to maybe do a 3D kind of something in the future. Mm-hmm. It also has 2D capabilities, but it's easier in Unity, which makes sense. But
after all this, you're less likely to do that. You're like, maybe I'll try the other one.
Yeah, maybe I'll try Unreal.
Yeah, and they think that to them it's like, oh, this is just the way to. They've already made the money in their head, and then they're like, oh wait, the money's not. Oh wait, hold on, people are mad about this. Oh.
Yeah, completely.
So not only are we not going to make that money, but now we have a crisis. Pay attention. Read the room, guys. Read the room.
So good news.
Very good news. Very good
news. What's the next thing?
NPC update.
NPC update.
Here we go. New segment this week, Jordan. What are the NPCs upset about this week? The NPC upset update.
Well, I don't know, but I said something about a Taylor Swift movie that I didn't even know about.
Yeah, are you right? Yeah, so you didn't know that Taylor Swift has so she's on this big tour that's like making $1 fillion and selling out everywhere, and scalpers are for thousands. It's just also stupid. And so then they decided to record a few nights of the show and put it in theaters. Now, it's actually been kind of cool because she didn't do it with like the regular like movie studio. She just did a deal with AMC, the theater chain, and they just put it out in Regal and different theaters. Made almost $100 million last weekend.
Wow.
So it was the biggest concert movie of all time. And they did it without the big studio system, which, I'm all for.
So it was like a movie about just her singing? Or there was
It was a concert movie. It would be like if you watched a movie of a concert. Did you ever see that Justin Bieber movie?
I don't. Yeah, I think I
kind of like that, but I think just more music. I think there's like 40 songs in the movie, and it's almost like 3 hours long.
What the?
Yeah, this really happened. Okay, this is really happening. It's not playing on the weekdays, but it's playing on the weekends.
So people go to movie theaters. I'm not making fun of anybody who's done this, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who's watched this who's done this. But you would go to a movie theater and watch 40 songs in a row and leave the theater.
Okay, so
it's just 40 songs.
Glad that you sent that, because this is what they're upset about. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour film ignites debate over movie theater etiquette. So people aren't just sitting in the theater watching this.
Don't tell me they're standing up.
Oh, it's going crazy. So this is what they're upset about.
Let me read this. Guys, OMG, I went to watch the Eras Tour movie and I didn't hear Taylor for 1 second. It was so bad. People were so disrespectful. Like, there were some that actually were kicked out of the room because they were being so rude. They completely ruined a lot of people's experiences there. So they were like singing and screaming the music.
Yeah, so this is only a 3-second clip, but this is like one of the viral ones that was posted.
What on? No.
So this was going on all over the place.
Insane.
So people were upset. This one says, I will say, if you're going to watch Taylor Swift movie, go expecting a more concert experience and you'll enjoy it more, because as a theater experience, it's horrible. Expect dancing, standing up in the chairs, screaming and singing along. She made this for her hardcore fans. I mean, I don't even know. I honestly don't really know how I feel, because it's like the movie. Look, I feel for the people running these movie theaters.
Oh, yeah. They're like, God help us,
they're
please.
screwed big time right now, okay?
They've got to make a decision. Are they going to make some hardcore rules, or are they going to let this go until it plays out?
That's the thing. So this is the thing. This is why the movie theater experience has gotten so terrible lately, where people just pull out their phones doing all this stuff, because they can't afford to say don't do it.
Yeah, wow.
You know what I mean? There was a time where it was
you
what
could
would you call it? A buyer's market or a
they would
seller's
come in
market.
and say, put your phone down. And
Yeah,
they would yell at you.
Remember they used to come in and like check? They don't do that. I don't see them do that anymore. They used to come in, check, count, see who's there. Now they're just they're just
free for all.
I don't care if you paid or not. I'm just happy you're here. Go buy some snacks. But it's just
that's crazy.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Is this? Would you be okay with, like, imagine that there was a Jimmy Eat World did a concert movie? Would you be dancing and singing, or would you sit there quietly?
No, I would be. Yeah, I know. I mean, I would be sitting there, but like the question is, would I be annoyed that other people were? Yeah, that would be annoying.
It just takes some time. They're like, I love this song. They're freaking out for the middle.
No.
Have you seen? I think it was all coordinated for the marketing for the movie. But have you seen how she's dating some guy from the Kansas City Chiefs, and so she's been coming to the games, and they're making a huge freaking deal about it. It's so obnoxious.
I think Travis Kelce was his name. Kelce.
I don't know.
No. It's the guy from the Chiefs, right?
Yeah,
the
Travis something.
I swear it's Kelce.
She starts dating this guy, going to these games, and making this big deal right in time for her movie to come out.
Of course, yeah, it's all a scam.
Over it.
I thought that people were over the. Oh, I'm just not with the times. I'll clearly, but I didn't think that people were like that into Taylor Swift anymore. Like I don't hear anybody talking about her.
That's what I told Kelly, and she was like, "No, she's as popular as she's ever been. She's even more popular. Her tours, the tour she did, they're just doing right now or whatever, is like covering every era of her.
Yeah.
So she's doing tons of songs from every album and all this stuff. So it's like a big celebration. So it's just,
Yeah, but imagine if she just went on tour for like her newest CD.
Right. I don't know.
And she was just playing those songs and a couple of other ones. Like, would it be? Right. So that's what I'm saying. What I said the other day on the podcast was that millennials are so nostalgic. It's sickening.
Yeah.
Like, do something. Like, do something different. Stop just living in the past. Stop living in these memories of all the stuff that you did. Like, do something more. Build something.
Think about why you want to live in the past. Is it because things are so sad? Then fix it.
Yes, and I think
make your life better.
Right. That's what annoys me so much about this whole Taylor Swift era. It's all these people that are in their 30s who generally aren't married, aren't doing what you would think normal society has done for generations, and then they post all this stuff on Instagram about how it was like this religious experience, and I got this tattoo, literally. It's insane. It's sad, and
then you go to the concert and the movie concert and get upset.
It's worse at the concert, at the movies. You can't even go to a movie. It's hilarious. I told Sarah the other day, we were walking around, and I said, I was looking around at the guys, and I was like, Sarah, just look at this. We're living in a country. I'm thinking about this as a guy.
Uh-huh.
If there's a war.
No, I know. I think about this all the time.
I'm screwed because I'm going to fight.
Uh-huh.
And there's nobody to back me up. I would be backing them up, and then I would die. Because I would be in that mindset, and they wouldn't be able to help me because no one is physically fit. You can't, and so it's like, it's weird. I was thinking, like, because all these wars are going on. I was just thinking, okay, worst case scenario. Imagine the government says, Jordan, you're going to go fight. Okay, I guess I'm doing this now. So then I go to war. I was just looking around the mall. I was like, how many of these people are physically fit enough that I would be like, okay, I'm in the trenches with this person.
Yeah.
And I just thought, this is a failing nation, because and then you see all these videos of all these other countries that we consider like the crazies or whatever. They're the ones who are doing all this stuff. But then you see all these guys and they're just ripped.
They could take us out real quick.
Like if they were just transported here,
say bye-bye.
Yeah, like what are you going to do?
Related to this, we were watching Survivor, and there was a guy on there, and I don't want to pick on him because he seems like a nice guy.
Yeah.
But he was struggling so much, even with like
physical challenges.
Yeah, I mean, he's like stuck in the water. He can't get out of the water.
Yeah.
Then he's just failing at everything, and he keeps talking about I have really bad anxiety and stuff like that. And then the people are having arguments back and forth, and they're just it's all this like I understand your feelings, I understand your perspective, but so nobody's actually talking about what they're talking about. They're talking about how they're feeling about what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I just told Kelly, I looked over, I was like, they're not gonna be able to do this show much longer.
No. And I saw, that's so true. I watched, because it was on some streaming service, so I just clicked on it to see like, oh, what's the new seasons like? What do the people look like?
Yeah.
What does where are we at this point? Like physical nature of people, what are they talking about? Clicked on it, and it was that kind of stuff, and I just thought, this is so boring.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was like nobody could be honest about. It was like everyone was afraid of what the viewer was perceiving of how they were reacting to things happening. It was this weird meta, and I was like, I can't do this.
I will say that Survivor has gotten better.
Okay. The one season I saw was the one where, and I watched like just the first 2 episodes, but it was the one, it was like the rich versus the poor. And the whole thing was like,
oh, that was a while ago.
Were you privileged or not?
Yeah. That's been a while. Yeah.
It was kind of painful.
Yeah. It's kind of, it's gotten to where the show's been on long enough now that most of the people that play grew up watching the show, so they all really want to be there. So for a little bit, that's been really cool, but I think it might be getting to a point where everybody's like, I've got really bad anxiety. So I've got really bad anxiety, and so nobody's gonna be able to like physically do it. For so long, when somebody is not capable of doing the show, they are really chastised on the show. And I feel like at some point they're going to have to start they're going to start feeling like we can't make fun of these people. Like if they're not, and even though they're going to want to, because they're like, look, for 25 years, people have been playing this game and doing just fine.
Why all of a sudden
can nobody do this game? And so they're going to have a lot of trouble they're not going to have trouble finding fans of the show, because this guy was like a huge fan of the show.
Yeah.
They're going to have trouble finding people that are fans of the show and can physically do it. So either they're going to have to just make the game easier, or they're going to just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah.
That's funny.
Interesting times. Okay. All right. Well, let's just hope that they don't get us into a war. I don't think we're ready for it currently.
But to bring that back, Josh.
Yes.
But the society collapsing is what needs to, these people screaming fans in the movie theater. That's what we need for a reality check. Is society collapsing as we know it, and no one screaming at the.
Remember when
theater.
I was mad that they were yelling at the screen during the
and then I
would give anything just to be back in that room, and everything was normal. That's gonna be their nostalgia. Is the nostalgia for the pain they felt.
Yeah, and then I'm dead in a trench somewhere because no one was able to back me up. And that's the end of it. So anyways, that's it. So conspiracy theory.
Yeah, here we go. All right, Jordan, have you been up to speed on what's going on with the writers' strike and the actors' strike and all this?
Someone told me that the writers' strike was done.
That's right.
I don't even think it was you. It was somebody else.
So the writer's strike is over, but do you remember that the actors went on strike in solidarity and also because they have complaints too? So everybody thought, okay, well, the actors will go off strike now too.
Oh, okay.
But the actors that they are, the divas that they are still on strike.
So it's
And
not even in solidarity with them anymore. They're just doing it.
they're still, yeah. And so, as Bloomberg reports, the strike by Hollywood actors may last all year. So the current situation is that the actor strike drags on as unions and studios feud over $500 million $500 million streaming pay ask. I've got the information right here. Basically, SAG-AFTRA leaders, which is the name of the union, have proposed a plan that would see each streaming platform pay 57 cents per subscriber per year. So they want Netflix per subscriber to their platform. So they've got, what, I don't know, 100 million subscribers. I don't know how many they have. They want Netflix to pay the actors union 57 cents per subscriber, $500 million annually across all platforms, to a jointly administered fund, just basically do a slush fund for the union that they can divvy out however they want, however they feel is justified to the actors. That's what they want to do. They want Netflix,
so
and
they're
Paramount Plus and HBO Max just to send them a check.
What in the world? Like, what? So that's not even. This isn't even about their organization. This is about Netflix and HBO Max. This is about
that's what the union is fighting with the studios. The unions
so
are
Netflix
saying
is a studio.
technically, and a streaming platform and a studio.
Oh, I guess they do make a lot of stuff.
I mean, I'm saying studio kind of in the broad sense. The people that are in charge of kind of distributing the content, the streamers, the Netflixes, the Disneys, the Universals.
Well, clearly they're not going to do this.
Right, and that's kind of why they're stuck right now. And but it's just been this has been going on so long, and it's so crazy because now they can write the movies and the shows, but they can't shoot them because they don't have any actors because the actors are all on strike. This has gone on so long now that I'm wondering, like, what is this a conspiracy? Like, what's going? And I've heard people joke like they don't want the actors talking because as long as the actors are on strike, they can't do promotion for movies and stuff like that. So the studios are trying to sort of decide, are we going to keep putting out movies when our actors can't do the marketing promotion? And then other people are saying, well, maybe that's part of the appeal of the strike is that you don't have actors out there saying stupid stuff. You know, we got wars going on right now, very controversial situations. And so maybe it's to the studio's benefit that they're putting out movies and you don't have the actors making controversial statements.
So, but they can't make the movies because. So how are they putting them out?
The movies that were already made before the strike, like the movies that the actors have to come back years later after the movie's been made and edited and ready to go. Then they have to come back and do the marketing for the movie and do all the interviews. But they
Regis and Kathy
go on
Lee.
Regis and Kathy Lee, do all that stuff. But now they can't because that's part of the strike is that they can't. So I'm grasping at straws. I don't understand. They're not going to get this. What are they doing?
That doesn't make any sense. That's crazy.
They just want Netflix to write this union a check so that they can just decide who to give it to.
Yeah, this is like Unity wanting money for every game that you sell.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, good luck to them.
This could go on forever. We might never get anything again. The movie, I mean, this is why Taylor Swift is doing so well at the box office.
Yeah.
This is why you're going to start seeing, I saw that they're going to re-release Monty Python. They're going to do all kinds of stuff, trying to make the movie theater experience more of like a party, basically.
Yeah.
More to get people back in because, so it's going to shift it quite radically. Either the theaters are going to go out of business. I don't know.
This is crazy. Wow. Let's get to It Gave Me Hope. I'm confused by yours, Josh.
Oh, you want to talk about mine first?
What if everything were free?
Jordan, think about this.
This is communism, but let's go. Let's go on.
What if...
It gave me hope.
I'm saying, what happens when machines are capable of basically just doing everything without human input? So now they can grow the food. They can harvest the food. They can deliver the food. And food is basically free. It's just the cost of the land and the upkeep of the machines. But what if the machines are able to upkeep themselves? at a certain point. What happens when all of a sudden you don't have to think about what food costs because food is suddenly just like the same way that like water, you don't really think about water. You know?
Because machines do the work.
I'm just saying we are going towards a reality where food could get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. I mean, think about the wide range of food options we have when we go to the grocery store. That has not always been the case. And how cheap it all is, you know, even given like with inflation and everything, food has been more expensive recently. But overall, like if food just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper and easier to produce, and Lord willing, it's like good food that they're producing, not just like, hey, cereal cost 5 cents.
5 cents.
But do you know what I'm saying? I've just been thinking about that, and that makes me hopeful, thinking about a potential future where you don't have to think about food. You don't have to think about what food costs. It's just like a not in your equation anymore. It's like if you're making money, it's to pay for other things.
Well, if that happens, then we're screwed technically, because what are the other implications of that? Oh, you're obsolete because they do all the jobs. You don't. Oh, the only entertainment, the only thing that you can do is entertainment. Oh, the AI is going to take that too.
I get that.
Right?
I get that. But also at the same time, it's like I've heard this example of, you know, if you have a bunch of guys doing a job, like they're out digging holes, why should they use shovels? Why don't they use spoons? Because then you could hire more. You could hire more people. To do it with spoons. You know what I mean? So it's like
if you're really truly talking about sentient beings who are created, who can fix themselves, and they don't need a person anymore for everything, that's different than people with a new shovel than a spoon.
I guess
That's so. Yeah, I don't know. Is this in good news or bad news?
No, it gave me hope.
Wow.
I was just thinking about that this week. I'm sorry.
What? Okay, if everything were free, that would be in my conspiracy theory.
What if machines like a 3D printer the size of your property could just print you a house?
Yeah.
And houses are cheap now. Houses don't cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now you don't have a mortgage. Yeah. And then the food, you know, it's like how we couldn't have imagined Amazon 25 years ago. Now things come to your house, anything you need in like a day.
Yeah.
What if that's how food, it's like, it's a subscription service.
It's
$15 a month and we'll bring you whatever food you want.
See, but here's the...
It'll be like when Spotify came out and it was like, this can't be real.
This isn't legal. Yeah. The thing, though, is if we get to that point, then, Josh, you're going to pay with not going to be financial payment. It's going to be allegiance. It's going to be your soul. You know, Liquid Death is going to be running through the streets, and we're paying them our soul.
You don't want to pay a subscription service for food, and then they cut you off.
No.
Is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So this doesn't give me hope. This is terrifying.
If machines get that good, then they could potentially get that cheap where anybody can own a 3D printer.
See, that would be good. Then I could like, they're printing the mark of the beast. I'm printing another thing that's better.
Look, if this was conspiracy theory, we could talk about the bad things. It gave me hope. So let's talk about
things.
It could be a good thing. It could be a good thing. It would be like getting upset.
What North Korea said.
Well, speaking of North Korea.
How are they doing?
Not good, but I'm saying that speaking of a country that doesn't have much electricity, think about people were afraid of electricity when it got started. They're like, oh, this is going to burn all of our houses down. And I guess some houses probably did burn down over the years. And still to this day, I'm sure it happens. But think about all the good that has come from electricity. Now, if we were in another section, we could talk about the bad things that have come from electricity. But I would say overall, it gave me hope. What do you got?
It gave me hope is, you know, we all know I play this game called Sprint Final. Okay, it's a great game.
Great game.
Have fun with it. But I've met a lot of great friends on this game. A lot of great French people. Big over there in France. Big as in there's like 185 people playing. But still, there's some core people who, like the guy who built the game is French, and there's a lot of French people that play the game, relative, like ratio-wise.
Yes.
It's not very many
We're some of the
Americans.
only U.S. players.
Yeah. And these guys have been great. I've been trying to learn French. They've been helping me learn French. We talk to each other a lot. We play these grand tours. This sounds so nerdy. It is, but it's fun. Where we do like the Tour de France, but we would do like 10 stages, and then we keep track of who has the best time for the entire thing. So we're always talking to each other and everything. I never thought that I would be the person who has like this weird interest, and then you find an online community who is doing that one little weird specific thing, and then it's like, wow, I'm friends with all these people that I never thought I would be friends with, like in France.
Yeah.
And they are really nice to me, and we all talk, and we play other games outside of just this one game.
This is the best thing about the internet.
Yes, it gave me hope.
Is this kind of thing?
Yes,
happening.
It reminded me of like the old days where, and because it's just fun. It's you meeting new friends and you're having a good time. It doesn't matter their background or what. It's fun. I'm having a nice time with it, and I'm realizing it's not necessarily about Sprint Final now as much as it is about like just meeting these people and talking with these people. So it's been good.
You're on the Discord server with them, and you're learning French so that you can talk to them better. And they're always trying to speak in English, and they do it almost like whenever I see English on there, I'm like, they're doing this basically just for Jordan.
Yeah, they never spoke English until I got on.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and so
everybody keeps Google Translate open in another tab.
But they actually can speak English. I just can't speak French. So it's been nice. Nice guys. Fun game. That gave me hope.
Beautiful. All right, let's recommend some things. Jordan, you brought show and tell for us today.
So there's this chocolate.
Oh, yeah.
It's Ghirardelli, but this was for my birthday. Happy birthday, Jordan. We love you. So nice. Everybody knows that I love this chocolate. It's Ghirardelli. But it's not just like, you can get dark chocolate. It's like 85%, 75% dark chocolate. This is 100% chocolate. It is bitter. It's extremely bitter. And I love it. I call it my happiness to Sarah. I'm going to have my happiness today. I have 2 squares a day. And you can't even, you have to go to the baking aisle to get this.
Yes.
100%.
They don't sell that on the chocolate aisle.
Have you ever had this?
Yes.
It's so good.
I sprinkle a little stevia or monk fruit on top of it. Yeah, it's super bitter. Okay. I have tried it. It's better to me just to put a little monk fruit on top of it, just to give it a little sweetness. It's still bitter.
You can buy this at Ghirardelli's store. We have a Ghirardelli store. But it's funny how they market it differently. They'll have like gold 100% with like the circle, like it's a special thing. But then and it's expensive, or you can just get it at the baking aisle.
Yeah,
and it's marketed different.
I didn't realize
it's funny.
I didn't realize they sold it on the baking aisle. That's good to know. That's why I don't get it, because I'm gonna go get some.
Yeah, at Kroger, if you don't go to the chocolate section because they don't have it there. They'll have 98%, but you go to baking aisle 100%. So that's my show and tell today. Check it out. Try it. You're not going to like it most likely, but it's good.
Okay, so they are getting ready to release the sequel to one of my favorite games of all time. It comes out next month. It's called the Talos Principle 2. Today I want to recommend the Talos Principle 1, the first one, because I am completing my 3rd playthrough of it over the years. This came out like almost 10 years ago now. So I played it when it first came out. Absolutely loved it. Played it again a few years ago.
Let me look this up because I feel like I know what this is.
Yeah, I'm sure I've showed it to you at some point.
I'm going to put up a video of it, and I don't know what I'm watching and post, so I just want to see what this is.
But it's an interesting game. It's a first-person puzzler where you play as a robot that is somewhat sentient. And so the game is about understanding, well, why am I here? Why am I doing these puzzles? And so it's all very interesting. It asks a lot of questions about like the soul and humanity, and especially AI, because you realize you're kind of just in this world with just AI robots, and you're trying to understand why you're there, because you're finding all of these audio logs of human beings.
I remember this.
And you're trying to understand like why you're not seeing those humans. And
this came out a long time ago.
I think it was 2014. But it's
8 years ago, it says.
It's a really it's just a fantastic game. I haven't got to the end yet again to really remember, like, do I agree with sort of the thesis of the game? But it does just ask a lot of really interesting questions while you're just going from puzzle to puzzle, solving things. And it's one of those games where the puzzles like I've beat it almost three times now. So like a lot of the puzzles I can just kind of breeze through, but every once in a while I get really stuck and I have to sit there and be like, how did I solve this one? And then so it's one of those games that gives you that really good feeling of, oh, I've been thinking about this completely wrong. And then you're able to do it really easily. I love games like that. It's one of the best puzzle games ever made.
Wow.
The Talos Principle. That was a fun episode.
You know, we tried something different. You guys might not even have noticed. This is the end of the episode. We're just going to talk off the cuff. But so we tried something different today. Josh and I sat further apart.
It made a lot of difference.
It did.
I can't explain to you why.
And it's nice because hopefully we can fit some stuff in the middle
without
here.
having to double layer the video and
crop
it
and push it.
Yeah.
Oh my word, that takes literally
Christian
so
meme
annoying.
review. Come on. Now it'll be easier.
I hated doing that.
I know. It is very annoying. Now
So hopefully
at worst you'll be able to just scale it up and just have it.
Exactly. That's what every time I tried to do and it never worked. So
Sorry,
I was like,
All right.
I sat down, I said, let's just try this. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was a good episode. And we'll talk to you later.
Bye.